a little over 2 weeks from now, world champion Wladimir Klitschko will defend his collection of heavyweight straps against German-based southpaw Francesco Pianeta. Italian-born Pianeta is unbeaten in 29 fights and was a sparring partner for Klitschko only last year when the Ukrainian was preparing for his second fight with American Tony Thompson. Diagnosed with cancer in 2009, Pianeta overcame the illness and returned to the ring a year later. Now he's preparing for the biggest boxing fight of his career when he enters the ring on May the 4th at the SAP Arena in Mannheim, Germany. I met up with Wladimir at his training camp in Austria and asked him how the fight with his former sparring partner got made.
Well, he's not just former sparring partner, he is in top 10 and he is undefeated. And I had a sparring partner, Deontay Wilder, that won all of his 27-28 fights by knockout. Larry Holmes was a sparring partner of Muhammad Ali. I had Tony Thompson as a sparring partner that also had a great big win over David Price. And so some sparring partner, it's not second class of boxers. It's totally wrong if somebody thinks this way.
The WBA have ordered Klitschko, the super champion, to face regular belt holder Alexander Povetkin before August 31st. But how does Wladimir feel about the timing of the purse bid, and why does he want to have this fight first?
I decided to fight in May because I'm a busy fighter and I want to stay busy, and I cannot wait until the negotiations with Sauerland gonna stretch for weeks, entire time until the next fight, and so I chose to fight in May. And it's unfortunate that purse bid is going to be during my preparation for the fight, or right before, actually, a week or 2 weeks before, actually 1 week before the event. I don't think it's good. It's maybe even a little bit weird and strange also in a way to my opponent. Like, it looks like I'm looking past him already before the fight, which is not okay. I think it's a little bit probably a little bit not cool. But it's not my decision. It's not my call. I'm just following the rules, and I'm going to be not distracted. So I have a great team of managers that are going to take care of it.
The Klitschko team have drafted in some good quality southpaws to spar with at this camp. I asked American trio Nate James, Jordan Schimmel and Jevonta Charles about what it's like for them to share the ring with the world champion.
It was very educational working with a professor like that in the ring. It went very well. His main objective is, boxing and getting the job done. He's world class. Can't ask for anything better than that, especially on my behalf. It's definitely always a learning process in there when you're sparring a man like that in that caliber. So
I knew what to expect. Definitely was a lot more nervous the first time than I was today and past couple times, but with each time I'm learning and picking up things and becoming a better boxer myself.
Yeah, I feel like you're picking them because I always get an extra round. I'm like, okay, like, don't worry, you're gonna do 2 or 3 rounds. Sure, I can do 2 rounds, champ. Look at, when you first get here, he's a champ, so he's only 6'6", but in your mind, like, this guy's 7'5", and he's like huge. But then, I don't know, you get comfortable after the first day, you get comfortable, you get to working with him.
That's true.
Now, when he hits you with that right hand, you realize that you got to use everything you've been taught, because he's coming. He's not taking no slack on anyone. If I can at least stand there with this guy, I'm a manhandle everybody else that get in front of me. Nobody else stands a chance. Because you see it on TV, you're like, he's treating these people bad. It can't be that hard. And you get in there and you realize it's really that hard.
Pianeta has been handpicked by Klitschko and he's not a mandatory challenger. He's already been written off by many boxing fans who describe the fight as a key busy fight for the champion ahead of a likely showdown with Alexander Povetkin. So can we really expect this to be a competitive fight?
No, it's not a mandatory, but Pianeta is a very, very good and tough opponent. He's undefeated, as you know, and almost the same height as Wladimir. And we know that he's a tough cookie, and that's, as you saw, the reason why Wladimir has so many very, very good sparring partners. He has 9 sparring partners, and as you saw, they really good and giving it all, and that's why Wladimir is in good shape and prepared.
Wladimir fight is going to be a good fight. A lot of people underestimate Pianeta because of his experience, but you got to understand that Look at Eddie Chambers. If Eddie Chambers never would have been a sparring partner, that fight wouldn't have went 12 rounds. The fight would have went over early. But Eddie Chambers had the experience to work with Wladimir before. He was a sparring partner. Pianeta was a sparring partner.
Yeah.
So that makes the fighter, that makes him, he knows what he's dealing with now. And look at everybody else. They had no idea what they were dealing with. But they dealt with it for the first time on Fight Night. Pianeta dealt with this before. He knows what he's getting himself into. And that's why he's confident that he can win this fight. That's what's going to make this fight a good fight.
And how does Klitschko feel about the threat of British heavyweights, Tyson Fury, who could become a mandatory challenger, and David Price, who was knocked out back in February by 41-year-old Tony Thompson?
You know, I lost my fights too when I was young and unexperienced, and to journeyman, for example, is Ross Purity. Which, you know, these days I couldn't even believe I did it, but things happen. So I was watching the fight of Tony Thompson and David Price, and it was maybe surprisingly to a lot of people, but on the other hand, it wasn't for me, because Tony Thompson is a tough challenger, a really tough guy. He doesn't look impressive, but he's very effective with his style. And I've been facing him twice, so I know what it is. And I think David Price is gonna do all right. He's young and he's just getting experience. The same as Tyson Fury. He's still young, and he I think picked up the pace of talk by David Haye, and he's in a certain way copying David. But I think David was more and much better than Tyson Fury, and I think that it's exciting to have so many fighters coming from one country and going to challenge at some point one of the Klitschko brothers.
The fight with Pianeta will be Klitschko's 63rd as a professional, and there are no signs of him hanging up his gloves anytime soon. He describes Pianeta as powerful, young and hungry, but few, except for those inside the Klitschko camp, predict anything but a comfortable evening's work for the champion, who should take care of business once again with relative ease.
No, that's good. Pressure, come on.
This is Big Time Boxing, and we're going to welcome Pianeta on the 4th of May to Big Time Boxing.